Helen Shelves. That's cool.
Yeah, because it just went. I just got the notification on Facebook.
Okay.
Is it that one?
Yeah, no.
No.
It should just say Habari Entertainment with an F on it.
Habari.
That's fine too.
My bad. I had a lot to edit today. Got it. Go ahead and pick up.
Yeah, my bad. All right, so let's go into a quick another question real fast here. We got so you created the Cosmoholic University, a salon coaching business.
Yes.
I already asked you that. So over the past decade and a half, how have you managed to stay ahead in such a competitive industry, and what key strategies have contributed to your success?
Okay, first question, how have I managed to stay ahead? I can say that because I worked for such powerhouse brands, they put education at the top for us.
Okay.
And I've always, like you said before, thought about what's going to make my clients happy, what's going to make my clients return, what's the secret sauce to it. And it's always I just listen.
Okay.
So that's one of the things when I am behind the chair, the clients are like, you literally just listen to me and do what I want. But I'm also the person where I'm like, if I think it's going to be trash, I'm like, we're not doing this. It's trash, or this is going to be damaging. Just because you want it doesn't mean I'm going to do it, type of a thing. And I just would say education is the biggest part of it. Just staying educated, staying relevant, knowing what the trends are, stepping out there, trying them. And what was the second part of the question?
Just oh my goodness, I might have lost my spot. But just asking, just pretty much, how did you stay inspired, and how did you stay in front of the everybody else that's in the competitive industry?
So inspired, I would probably say my daughter. I became a single mom when she was about 3.
Okay.
And she has Down syndrome. So it's like I'm fighting for her and to leave something behind to make sure she's okay. So that's like one of the drives and the inspirations. The other one is that I want to be a millionaire. So I'm like opening different revenues of income to make sure that I can hit that goal and establish myself. And my salon is like a safe place salon. So we're kid friendly. We make sure that moms can bring their kids. Because what I noticed early on is that if you are not kid friendly, and I know a lot of y'all salon ladies going to be upset, but if that girl or the mom mostly have the kids and she doesn't have a sitter, like my experience today, they have to cancel their appointments. And I want my money to keep flowing. So bring your kids. We have a beautiful little space with the play area. The other one is that just thinking about like what clients need. I will also go and book an appointment at another salon to see what they have going on.
Okay.
And then I also think with work, like everything goes back to working with brands. So like helping building something bigger than myself. They put me in front of so many salon owners, even if it was a booth rent or a 30-chair salon or a 2-chair salon. And you got to talk to owners and see what they were doing wrong.
Okay.
And then I knew that I didn't want to do those things. And then to also think about helping others. So when I first opened Cosmoholic, the business model was everybody was a W-2. We provided health insurance, 401k, because you don't get that as a beauty professional.
Right.
And most people, thank you guys for who were there before us, but they're 55, 65, 75, and they're having to get more jobs because they weren't taught to save. So just thinking of it more of a corporation type of a thing versus of a more artsy type of a field.
Now, do you have classes that are catered to maybe someone like me who doesn't go to the salon like hardly ever, but they still want to maintain how to get those online influencer looks, especially with like curly types of hair like mine? So do you teach your clients how to maintain their hairdo with certain techniques?
Yes. So when my clients come, so most of my clients, I've been seeing the same people over the last 16 years. So fortunately, once they sit in my chair, we're locked in. But just recently, I started taking newer clients. So like if they come in for a look, We go over products they're using at home, what their
Okay.
goals are for the
Okay.
next 3 to 5 years with their hair particularly.
Mhm.
Then we talk about products to use at home, what I recommend that they need to leave, and then we work on the styling process at the end.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So once we get it styled, then I'm like, okay, now it's your turn to show me how you can recreate this at home. So if I need to talk about pin curls or rolling or wrapping or pillowcases or satin hats or oils or serums, then we go into that and teach them how to get what they need.
Mm.
So
Yeah, man. I mean, I know a lot of women are, when the hair is a big deal. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I just like that you're teaching others and bringing others into a situation where they can learn more, because I think that's, like you said, the number one thing is education.
Yeah.
We're all having issues knowing exactly how to do our hair, like mixed people, people that are just full on black. They don't even know how to do their own hair anymore.
No.
And they don't know how to take care of it naturally to keep their natural curls. So that's why they go into these extents to do other things. So what do you think the future of the beauty industry is? What do you think will be the next wave? We got your eyelashes that make you fly. You can fly with the eyelashes nowadays. You got the wings on the side of your forehead. That was a big thing that they're doing.
they really do look like wigs. I'm sorry. And then they're doing the big old
yeah. Oh my goodness.
What is this thing? What is this?
I don't know what these things
pattern
are on the side of their forehead.
the edges, like
the edges.
the edges. Like, why do they gotta make them come down so
circle
far?
They don't have any hair there. Or the wig is not high quality and they have to hide the lace.
Oh my goodness, dude. I don't know.
Um,
But what do you think the future? Do you think that we're going towards something that's going to be a little bit more natural in the future, or do you
No.
think that it's going to keep getting?
So that's a double answered question. So in the salon world, I feel like the old construct of commission salon employee driven is dying.
Mm,
So it is more so towards the independent.
wow.
However, those independents are not educating themselves on how to properly run a business. So I think we're already heavily in where we're seeing salon suites pop up everywhere. And I myself, I own one of those as well.
Okay.
But we have people where they're like, I want to be my own boss. I'm an entrepreneur, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And they don't know how to set a budget. They don't know how to write a marketing plan. They don't know how to set up the strategies and planning, a mission statement, or any of the licensing that it takes to do it.
Right.
So I think in the next 10 years, we'll still see an influx of that, and then it'll come back to a people who are open to being educated. As far as the hair, I think color is always going to be there.
Yeah.
But what we saw during COVID time is there was a lot of correcting of hair.
Oh, okay.
And now it's more, what can I get? This is my budget. So I think it depends on where the economy goes. If the economy keeps going and inflation keeps hitting, we are going to see a lot of hairdressers choosing other industries because it is the slowest that it has been in years. Because if you got to choose between your groceries or gas or looking cute, you're going to look for that wig. You're going to look on YouTube to see what else you can do. So I just think it's going to be economy driven.
Wow.
But I don't see the wigs going away. I do see a lot of people talking about they want to get away from it, but you have to have a budget to come into the salon to get your hair trained. So I don't have chemicals, but my hair is trained to stay straight.
Right.
Once I wet it, it turns into an afro. But it takes a budget, it takes time, it takes them wanting to learn. It's not gonna be like I pop my wig on, I can go do whatever I want and then put that band on and my hair is flawless. I got my hair done, I gotta tie it up as soon as I get home. If I sweat, I may have to hit it with the blow dryer a little bit to keep it smooth. Like, it's a process.
Okay. So what do you think are going to be some of the drawbacks for ladies that's continuously wearing these wigs? I know there has to be some drawbacks from wearing these things. I know, older people who already have issues with hair, cancer patients who already have issues with hair, they definitely wear them. But I think there has to be some drawbacks from continuously covering your hair and not giving your hair the sunlight. I don't know. I would think it needs that, but you're always covering it. Do you think there's going to be any drawbacks from that?
Yeah, they're going to have tractional alopecia.
Okay.
So tractional alopecia is hair loss complete hair loss, and it comes from traction of something continuously rubbing against it, or braiding or pulling. And it's gonna, once the follicle closes, it'll shine like our hands. So the top and the palm of our hands is the only place on our bodies and our feet that does not have hair. Everywhere else has vellus hair. So they're gonna create that, and then they're not gonna have hair in that area. So what they should be doing in between is using like a scalp accelerator. So let's say when they're going in to get the wig taken off, they should be spraying some type of scalp accelerator, or they should do it where they can lift it up at night and try to put something on there so that they can stay in that growing phase. But we're just going to see a lot of hair loss permanently.
Wow. So basically it's taking the ladies backwards. I mean, it's you may be getting the benefits now, but it's going to hurt you more in the long run.
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy. I don't know if many people know that, because I think these girls are 15, 16, 17 wearing these wigs. I don't know if they know that this could damage your hair also. I hear a lot of ladies speaking about the protective hairstyles, where they're putting in different braids and wigs and different things, and they're calling them protective. Are they protecting their hair by always continuously having these things in their hair, or is it really just something that's working against them in the long run when they're calling it protective? Is it really protecting anything?
So it's both. So if you're wearing a protective style, it should be worn for you can wear it for a bit, but then you still need to let your hair breathe.
Okay.
And then depending on how it's installed, so if it's too tight or if it's too heavy, then you're pulling your hair out at the follicle.
Okay.
So if you see a girl or woman that's been wearing protective styles, usually you see a circle right here.
Okay.
She has tractional alopecia. Or let's say if she's like, I have clients where they came to me with hair here. We've been doing sew-in for about 3 years. Their hair is down here underneath.
Right.
But then anything that's left out is not protected in that style. But we are on like a strict regimen. So we put it in 6 weeks, you come in, we do a scalp treatment, we tighten it. Then 6 more weeks, we take it out.
Okay.
So it just depends on how they're installing that in there.
Okay.
And then I wanted to go back to the other question about the wig. The one thing that I feel like is a drawback is that these girls don't know what they look like without it. So then they're losing their confidence and they don't know what the beauty looks like because you look different with the wig on.
Right.
So if you're wearing a wig at 15, if you have to take that off one day, what are you going to feel when you have to look at that reflection?
Right. How are you going to have that confidence in yourself if you've always seen yourself with a wig on and never seen yourself naturally? That's
the same for women who have the smoothing treatment or relaxers or perms and things like that, because their hair is always straight.
Yep.
So they don't know what their hair looks like in its natural state. So when they do transition from a relaxed or a smooth state,
they're like, what the?
Exactly. Not me, sis. I'm like, yes, that's you. And then I see these women, they get on TikTok, they get on Instagram, and they be like, "Oh, y'all, I'm looking rough today."
No, that's
just natural hair.
Right. And then we saw them giving Simone Biles
a hard time
because
she had some of her texture showing.
Yeah. I mean, they was giving her.
They gave her a hard time when she got married, and she had her texture. Yeah. She sweated out her straight hairstyle.
Yeah.
I just really think that they get caught up too much in the Beyoncés and all these women who wear a lot of wigs, and they think
don't really wear a lot of wigs.
Yeah,
she do wear a lot of wigs.
Yes, she does.
She do wear some tape-ins and some sew-ins.
Yes, definitely.
But she also has
she
long
doesn't wear that
hair.
off stage though,
right?
And they get caught up in the stage presence
for an entertainment purpose, for
photos, pictures.
Yeah. Oh, I got to do it for this movie,
right? Exactly.
And then they're taking it right out.
I don't think she takes it right out.
You don't think so?
Because I even think and hopefully she don't come for us, but I mean, I remember a few years ago where they were showing her hairline, the real hairline, and it was gone.
Wow.
So she could have had some hair replacement for these new photos that she's been showing with her hair down there because it has been protected.
Right.
But us in the beauty industry, she got enough money where that lace can be laid so tight, we won't know if that's her hair or not.
Right. And we just can't. I don't understand how people have gotten so caught up in Hollywood.
We've been caught up in Hollywood.
I mean, but to compare yourself to a millionaire when these people have millions to do all these hairdos, we never know what they look like for real.
No.
This stuff is fake, and they're doing airbrushing, they're doing all types things
Photoshopping.
to do things to edit how they look and to make sure that they look perfect. We can't get caught up in what they're doing when we just look. We want to just be yourself. I just don't understand why so many people are so caught up in the Hollywood look when
It's because of social media.
right.
Like everything is perfect and everybody's famous and everybody wants followers and clout and all the things. So it's like just like the fluff of what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody want, like, you can be seen. You can be like a everyday person and have 50,000 followers, and then people think that that's what's it. But in my area, I know some people out there, they got 100,000 followers in the beauty industry and they're dead broke. They don't have anything, but and that's been their focus. Or like in my dating life, dating people who have a lot of followers, then you meet them in person, they're just like a full mute.
Right.
So it just depends on like what's important to you.
Mm-hmm. Just having followers don't mean anything. What are you gonna bring that back with? Are you gonna use it as a tool to bring your business forward? Are you gonna use it as a way to better yourself and to put yourself in a better situation?
What are you using your platform
if you're just
for?
using it just for you to show that you're perfect every day, no business is gonna. What do you? Why would they invest in you?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you bringing to the table to make them say, hey, we want you to be a face of this product, or we want you to talk about this product to your people? You got to have something more, man. You just can't have the followers. Believe it or not, people with almost no followers get all type businesses come to them because they feel as though what they're doing is going to help others, and it's positive.
Yeah.
And it's bringing something to the table that they feel as though they can build off of. If you just, oh, I'm cute, that's not really going to help. You got to do something, man.
Right.
Show the people that you can do product placement. Show
Yeah.
the people that you can do some things that can help their company to build, not just being cute, man. I see so many girls online showing their bodies, and they have 50,000, 60,000 followers, and they just on there shaking their butt.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity with what you have. You got 60,000 people, 60,000 eyes on you. You can be taking this as an opportunity to build something. You're not going to have this body forever. So if you want to take advantage of it, think about what you want to do and think about how you could take advantage of the 50, 60,000 people that's following you. You getting 500, 600 likes. These companies would love to be a part of that, but they got to see
your audience.
Definitely, but they got to see something that's positive that's coming out of it, and it just can't be you conceited about yourself and how great you are. That's not gonna get it done. But let's take a quick break, man. We're gonna come back with more from Chardai, right?
Yeah, Chardai.
Chardai, and talk about her business, Cosmoholic. Let's go. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to more Habari Live. We got Chardai here, and we're talking about the Cosmoholic University and Salon. And we just been going over the great things that she's been doing as a company and as a person. We really appreciate her coming through and talking with us. We learned a lot about the beauty industry. So before we get into Habari News Weekly, I want to ask you one last question. What exciting projects or plans do you have for the Cosmoholic Salon and university, and what should we look out for?
So for the salon, I'm just rebuilding my model. So before we were a fully commissioned W-2 employee model, now we're just renters. So I just redesigned my salon, made it more intimate and quaint. So
Okay.
I'm looking for some new staff members or
Okay.
teammates because they're not staff members. And we just have a model where girls can come in and pay $50 a day, do their clients, and go home.
Okay.
And then we are just working on building our space for the community.
Yeah.
So we've always been like community driven and events and outreach. So just trying to figure out what we want to do next for that. And then we just introduced a head spa service. So that's been huge. And with Cosmoholic University, it's my new baby. So I'm just working on like getting it off the ground. I already have all my modules done. I have all my websites up and done.
Okay.
I just did I mentored 6 free hairdressers and salon owners. So just waiting on their video feedback and their reviews to just up and pump the business. And just to make sure it's seamless before I kind of publicly put it out there.
Yeah.
I'm working with a few other stylists and working with some of my friends behind the scenes just to make sure that the information is valuable so that a stylist or salon owner and hopefully eventually a small business owner could find value in it. I just kind of want to teach people that owning a business is easy.
Yeah.
It's not hard, but these are the steps to do it properly. And this is how you can accomplish your goals, whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like I said, man, you know how hard it is to be a business owner. Have that feel comfortable to go out there and put yourself out there. It's hard. So, we want to give you a hand.
Thank you.
I know how tough it is, and especially doing it alone, doing all this stuff by yourself, man.
I'm not
that's a
alone.
big deal. Oh yeah.
No, I keep a team. You can't do it alone.
That's real.
Yeah. So
it's hard.
My best friend is my backbone. She helps me out tremendously.
Okay.
And then one of the girls who works for me, she mans the phone. So we opted for a cell phone versus a landline so we can text.
Yeah.
So she mans the phone. I don't have to worry about that. So
Okay.
I always have a beautiful team.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it's like I said, we are our team.
Yeah.
So it's always me and her. And then we got Ash over here, and we make it happen, man, as a group. And that's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you start with; it's who you end with, man.
Yep.
And that's very, very, very important to a successful company.
Yeah.
So let's get into some Habari News Weekly. We can talk about the news. You can sit and check it out, or you can do whatever you want to on this situation, because we're gonna talk about some news.
Okay. I need to check on my baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
do your thing.
Okay.
Let's run that, Ash.
Week's Habari News Weekly with Damon Dipling Ellison. Sponsored by...
All right. We're sponsored by Mama Soul's Fish and Chicken. Where what is it? Every
Well, every bite is
it's like a warm hug from home. I don't know why I lost it on that. But all right, man. Let's talk about some news. What we got this week?
This week, Governor Newsom approved a $297.9 billion budget. He approved this in June.
Yeah.
That did include up to $12 million for reparations legislation that just became law.
Yeah.
California will formally apologize for slavery and its lingering effects on Black Americans in the state under a new law that governor signed on Thursday.
Yeah, man, you got to give it to Newsom. He's definitely someone that's on the very liberal side on things. And a lot of people are scared to touch reparations because they don't want to make the other side upset about giving someone something that they don't believe that they deserve.
Right.
Black people, unlike other groups, Jews, the Japanese that was held into internment camps, they all were given reparations. The Jews didn't even happen in America, and we gave them reparations. I mean, I don't. I'm not saying. I'm not. Saying that we deserve a certain amount or anything like that. I just wish that it would have been done in the proper time when it was supposed to be done.
Right. When
And
everyone
now,
else was
right,
getting theirs.
exactly. And for us to wait all this time, it's hard because all these people just sitting around. Well, I had nothing to do with it. I wouldn't. But my family came. It doesn't matter.
Right.
This is what happened to these people, and it should be taken care of. And I want to give Gavin Newsom a hand for doing it. I don't care what the racists think. I don't care. This is something that should have been done a long time ago.
A long time ago.
And America has done a horrible job of apologizing for what happened, to apologizing for Jim Crow, for apologizing for all the years of redlining, moving people out, keeping people in the ghetto, keeping people down, no opportunities. And then they want to sit around and pull yourself up by your bootstraps because they don't care about anything that we've been through.
And I want you to go ahead and give Governor Newsom another hand, because he also approved laws that are going to improve protections against hair discrimination for athletes and increase oversight of the banning of books in our state prisons.
Oh man, banning books, man. This shit kills me. We can ban we can't ban guns, we can't ban anything else. Bans don't work. They holler.
We can ban abortion,
but they ban everything else.
We can ban abortion.
They can ban anything.
They can ban
except guns.
Books. They can ban everything.
Why are we banning books?
They can ban cell phones in the classrooms.
Prisoners are adults. Why are we banning books?
Right.
They're adults. They can handle it. They're out of high school. Most of them are 17 and up. What's the problem?
They don't want them to learn. That's the issue.
Man.
But I mean, the state of California did say that they accept the responsibility for the role that they played in promoting, facilitating, and permitting the institution of slavery, as well as its enduring legacy of persistent racial disparities. The Democratic governor said in a statement that building on the decades of work, California is now taking another important step forward in recognizing the grave injustices of the past and making amends for harms caused.
Yeah, man. That's all you can do. You can't do anything else. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it forever like all the people on the right want to do. They want to act just get over it. Just act like it didn't happen. And that crap ain't gonna work. So we have to finally just make amends. Give some people a couple of dollars for the shit that they was, especially people who was land were taken. There's people who had land and homes and real estate that was taken because the racists wanted it, and they could just go in there and just burn them out and shoot them out, or just use the legal system to get the people out of their homes. Like those things has to be that we shouldn't just be like, it's all right, just forget about it. But we can't forget Pearl Harbor. We can't forget 9/11. But then
those are
anything with us.
Those are days stamped on our calendar.
Yeah, but anything with us, we just supposed to forget it.
Forget it.
Get over it.
Let's
go to the next one.
A new report found more Black mothers are getting unneeded C-sections when compared to white mothers. And it suggests that it could be just to fill the operating rooms.
Oh, man. It's sad, bro.
Even when some of these women have the same medical history, a Black mother and a white mother at the same hospital with the same doctor, the same provider, Black mother is 20% more likely to have a C-section than the white mother.
we was discussing this the other day, and I was saying I don't understand how they're coming up with what rhetoric they're using to make a woman understand that they need this C-section.
Mm-hmm.
Like in your situation, it was the baby's
Jimmy
too large,
she was
9
big.
pounds.
Yeah, she was almost 9 pounds, and
Right.
with my small frame,
Mm-hmm.
they felt as though that, you know, if I was to
So
deliver,
you think they making this shit up? You
I
think
don't
they're
know.
lying?
I mean,
You think they're lying to the women? This is a tough situation.
it really is a tough situation because in my case, my doctors, they were very informative.
Right.
They were like, you know, if you go through with a vaginal birth, you could have shoulder dystopia,
Right.
which, you know, dislocates the shoulder, and the baby's going to have problems with shoulder, you know,
Mhm.
for the rest
And it
of their
could have tore
life.
you, ripped you, and other
Right.
things.
And they were like, you know, we want to avoid any deformities, any defects. We
Right.
want to make sure that you have a safe birth.
I understand.
So we think this is the safest route for you to go.
We get that, but are they making these things up? You know, what is it that's, how are black women being told something different? And you know, a black woman is not going to just listen to some bull, so they're going to have to come with something that is relevant to their situation,
or
that
they could be
makes
using it as a
sense.
scare tactic.
I don't
A
know,
scare
man.
tactic to
I-
get
I-
women to, because the thing is,
They
a
have to be
woman is going to pay more
for a C-section. I
for a
understand that.
C-section than they are a vaginal birth. And even though you can tell your doctor you want a vaginal birth, because that's what I did the entire pregnancy. I want a vaginal birth. I want a vaginal birth. We could do, this is what I want to do.
Right.
But at the end, the doctors was like, you know, giving your ultrasounds, giving all of the information that we have collected throughout your pregnancy, we don't think that a vaginal birth is best for you.
I get that. But if they're saying that it's more black women are having C-sections, then they have to be lying to someone.
They have to
I can't
be.
even think of no other way that they aren't able to just come up with excuses. They have to either,
Like
they're
I
lying.
said, they could be using things like they told me. They could,
right,
they could be saying those things as a scare tactic to say, okay, well,
to scare you into
to scare you into getting the
but
C-section.
They're still lying.
It's
That's
still
still
lying.
right.
It's
So,
still
right.
misinformative, but we as a patient, we're not going to know if
We
what
don't
the
know.
doctor is saying is
It's true or not.
false.
And then when you're pregnant, you select a certain doctor throughout your whole pregnancy. And you know, do you say, well, I'm going to get a new doctor throughout, you know, and to go get another
that you can do. If you don't feel as though your doctor is listening to you or your concerns, or if you don't feel as though they're the best doctor for you, you can definitely change your doctor throughout
tough.
your pregnancy.
It's tough.
However, it is best
right
to probably use the same physician throughout your pregnancy.
Yeah, because you know they're gonna have notes on what's been going on. They've been
exactly
keeping up
because
on the new doctor.
You may not
know
remember
everything.
the
and
information.
You may not know, right?
Right. You may not remember everything that was talked about that the doctor jotted down or wrote down into your chart.
Exactly.
And if you go to a new doctor, you're going to have to consent for that doctor's office to call the previous office and obtain all your records to know what's going on.
Right. And that's tough, man. You know, so I mean, we already know that black women has more mortality rates, higher mortality rates when it comes to pregnancy. More black women are dying, unfortunately. Then we're getting told that they're being pushed more into these
major abdominal surgeries,
right, which could lead like into hemorrhages, and it could lead into other different problems because it is a major right. surgery. So I don't know, man. It's a lot of people who don't trust this stuff, man, and they don't get vaccines, they don't get shots because they don't trust the system, and I don't agree with that, but I also understand because of things like this that happen, because of malpractice that happens, because of the mistakes that doctors make. So it's you just gotta stay on your toes. If you feel as though you need someone else to talk to, you need a
second opinion.
A second opinion. You needed someone else's judgment, and you don't feel like this person is looking out for you. go somewhere. Do not hesitate to go somewhere else.
Get that information from
Yeah.
another doctor.
Most definitely. What else we got?
Biden signed an executive order this week aimed at school shooting drills and machine gun devices. The new executive actions have two primary goals. One, to reduce the trauma and maximize the effectiveness of school shooting drills. The other order is the main objective is to address machine gun conversion devices. Instead of going after the people who purchase these devices, they're going to start looking at the people who are manufacturing these devices, the ghost guns, the 3D prints, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good. It's going to also reduce the amount of devices that are on the streets.
I think that these ghost guns, these manufactured 3D printing guns, they should be very, 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 very illegal.
And
if
these
you
are
get caught with this shit,
a little bitty device that's probably like maybe this big that converts
I know what it is, but I'm just saying that if you get caught with this stuff, it should be years. Because people just buy these 3D printers and think they can just make what they want, and there's no consequences in it. But there needs to be consequences. You can't just sit there and manufacture gun parts and think that there's no consequence to what you're doing.
Yep.
So they tried to do something about. I think Trump did something about the bump stocks, but then did they go against it? I can't remember what happened on those.
Yeah,
bump
I don't
stocks.
remember what really happened on that, but
they should be illegal too.
They should be.
But we have all these things to make the guns into fully automatic. They always say the weapons is no big deal, but like I said, man, if you have these things, it should be very, very illegal. I know some people gonna disagree, and we're not gonna always agree on everything, but I just don't think that these creations are helping anybody on the streets, or is it making our streets any safer? Period.
I don't think they're making the streets safer.
It's making it worse.
It's really making it worse.
So it's when we think about these things, we have to think about what is it adding to society. Is it helping? If it's only hurting, then there's nothing we need it for. We don't need it.
Right.
So that's my thought on that.
Yep. I mean, I agree. I really do. So do you want to do the big story, or do you want to go ahead and get the other little stories done first?
Before we move forward to our main story or little stories, I'd like to encourage everybody watching now to go follow Habari. Is it Habari Live on TikTok?
TikTok, it's Habari Entertainment.
Go follow Habari Entertainment on TikTok. We are working on expanding the show, but we need you to go and help us grow our following on TikTok so we can start live streaming. But
help us get that 1,000 subscribers.
We at 518 or something?
We're almost at 500.
Okay.
So we're about halfway there. So if you guys can help us get that other 500, we can start going live and you guys can start interacting with us on TikTok.
That would be dope.
If you're enjoying the show, tell your friends, tell your family, follow us on TikTok, watch the show. We're going to be expanding soon, so stick around for the ride.
Yeah, man. We need your support, and your support is what makes us stronger, man. We want to build something here, and the main thing is this is just the building blocks. We want to bring in more journalists. We want to bring in more videographers. We want to bring in more people that comes to your events and cover your events. We need more correspondents. So to do that, we need more people to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, and in a little while, we're gonna be setting up some ways for us to fundraisers, for us to raise some funds for we can get some better, to get the news out about what you care about. It's not just about everything else that everybody else covering. What is the news that's not being covered? We want to cover those stories.
Email us that information too.
Definitely, because the news, they ignore a lot of things that happen, and we want to talk about those things that are being ignored. Send us those stories. Send us the stories that the news don't think is important, and let us make that decision, and we will put that out there and talk about things like that. So, today we're going to dive into a topic that's been controversial and it is tragic. Capital punishment. Despite growing concerns of morality and fairness, executions continue in the U.S. with states with using different methods to carry out death sentences. But is it justice really being served? Are we perpetuating a system rooted in cruelty and inequality?
Take, for example, the case in Texas this week. Travis James Mullis was executed on Tuesday for killing his infant son in 2008, making him the fourth inmate to be executed in Texas this year alone. Texas, as we know it, holds the records for the highest number of executions in the country. But they aren't alone. Across the nation, there have been already 16 executions this year.
Wow.
I mean, this grim trim just keeps raising questions about the fairness of our justice system. Who's more likely to sit on death row? Who's more likely to be executed?
That's real.
These types of things do tend to hurt our community a little bit more than they do others.
That's real, man. And let's talk about the execution in Missouri. On the same day, Missouri, can you hit the button? Yeah. Missouri executed Marcellus Williams. Despite significant concerns over the evidence that led to his conviction, Williams had consistently maintained his innocence in the 1998 stabbing of Felicia Gale. And there were serious questions about the case, especially when new forensic evidence showed fingerprints on the murder weapon that didn't match Williams. Yet the U.S. Supreme Court denied a final appeal to delay the execution. Williams was put to death by lethal injection. Missouri's Department of Corrections claimed the execution brought finality to a decades-old case, but many, including the St. Louis County prosecuting attorney, believe justice was not served. Is it justice when there are still questions about guilt? To be able to execute someone that you don't fully know for sure did the crime is inhumane.
And there have been questions raised about the evidence that was collected during this case as well. The death penalty has been long criticized as a tool for discrimination, used disproportionately across against poor people, minorities, and those with mental health disabilities.
Yeah.
Many argue that it's just an outdated form of punishment, but an inherently flawed one. Wesley Bale, the prosecuting attorney, said it best. This outcome did not serve the interests of justice.
Right.
When people's lives are on the line, there's no room for doubt. Yet here we are still executing people when the evidence isn't crystal clear.
That's real.
As it was in the case of Marcellus Williams.
There's also been the issue of how the death penalty is carried out. Different states are using different methods: lethal injection, electrocution, gas chambers, and in recent years there have been reports of botched executions. I think those were in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
In the so-called land of the free, are we really okay with this level of inhumanity? Is this the justice system we want representing us, where people are being killed without fully knowing for sure if this person is guilty or innocent?
I mean, at its core, the death penalty isn't just a legal matter. It is more of a moral one. The countries around the world have abolished it, yet the U.S. continues to cling to it despite growing evidence of its unfairness and its cruelty.
Yeah.
Some argue that it's necessary for the worst crimes, but can we trust a system that gets it wrong so often?
Right.
I mean, in this case here that we're talking about with Marcellus Williams, there have been questions about the evidence that have been brought forward.
Yeah, man.
They retested the evidence, and the evidence showed that it was prosecutors.
It was tainted evidence.
Fingerprints that were on DNA that was on the weapon.
How do you use tainted evidence to kill someone, to murder someone? Like, I mean, that's just, man.
To me, the case should have been thrown out because the evidence was mishandled.
Yeah.
It was handled improperly.
That should have been thrown out court.
Instantly.
In court. But because DNA probably wasn't up to the parameters that we have it at now, and we wasn't as good as figuring
Right.
out the evidence as we are now.
When they initially tested
And he
it,
probably didn't have a good lawyer that can attack these situations and make sure that
to say, hey,
that they
we need to have this thrown out.
right. That evidence should have been tested years ago. But the fact that it wasn't, and
it should have been tested in 2015 when they tried to execute him the first time.
It's insane that they do this. But so we want to ask you, our listeners, what do you think? Should the U.S. continue using the death penalty despite flaws we've seen in cases like Marcellus Williams? Or is it time to abolish capital punishment once and for all? Let us know your thoughts on our social media, and let's keep this conversation going. We really want to hear from you guys. So if you on YouTube, you can call in. Or you can, when you see this clip,
call us and leave us a voicemail.
Yeah, when you see this clip, talk about it, and we want to see what's going on, because this to me is a big deal, and I'm sick of seeing people dying who didn't deserve it, that we don't know for sure if the evidence is matching up. People are sitting in jail for 50, 60, 70 years for things that they didn't do, and we find out later that the evidence was tainted, that the person didn't do it, and he's been sitting in jail. We can't for surely kill these people, knowing that how bad our legal system is and how bad our lawyers and attorneys and the whole Justice Department. I mean, it's just bad. And a lot of people are being railroaded. And we know this. So we have to stop killing people on the word of a bad prosecuting attorney, a bad lawyer, and bad people who don't care about other people, and they're just trying to fill their pockets. And look good in the newspapers.
Science? Can we use science?
But science doesn't. Sometimes there are cases where it's people who saw it, and you using
eyewitness testimony.
It's not always science is not always going to answer the questions.
And neither is eyewitness testimony.
I know
because
but if a person is found guilty, they should sit in jail.
Yes, definitely.
Life in prison is bad enough.
Like it is.
Do we have to kill them?
Right. If your hair, fingers, or blood, or skin, or something that connected you to this crime scene is in the evidence.
Happen, babe. There's situations where there's no physical evidence, but they have.
Are you willing to kill somebody for those situations?
That's what I'm saying.
Are you willing to put someone on death row and have the death penalty applied
for
to
somebody
this person
you don't even have it?
When you have zero physical evidence, or you have tainted evidence, or evidence that's been mishandled, should that person still deserve to die? I don't think so.
Me either. And I think that you got to think about it too, man. These death penalties, they cost a lot of money to kill these people,
and we're the ones that are paying for it.
Yeah, it's taxpayer money.
We are paying for the medication.
Mm-hmm.
We are paying for the day, the time, the personnel that are doing this.
Right.
Last meal.
Last meal. We're paying for all of it.
All of it. So, I mean, to give the person 3 hots in a cot for the rest of their life is not a big deal.
Right.
Someone else is going to take that spot. So, to me, let's just do that. Let's just do life in prison, man. And
without parole.
Let's ban it. I mean, it's mostly southern states that still have it. Texas, Alabama, Missouri. Even though Missouri is kind of on that border,
Midwest.
But I would put it as a southern state just because I know how those people are out there.
Arizona
still have it.
Yes, we do.
That's But when's the last time we haven't killed anyone in a while though, huh?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't remember execution, but Arizona, us too. Let me hit us with the. We don't want that. We want the womp womp, man, because it's terrible, dude. Let's move into the 21st century. We know these things are inhumane, so let's do something about it, man. What we got? Sports?
Can we take
a hot mess?
Yeah, we're gonna roll a break and then we'll do the hot mess.
Okay, let's do a quick break.
Get ready for the week's Hollywood Hot Mess with Aisha Rowan. Sponsored by
Mama Soul's Fish and Chicken, where every bite is like a warm hug from home. If you do want to sponsor us, please email us or give us a call. We do accept phone calls. You can leave us a voicemail. You can send us a text message. The phone number is 602-529-2827. Or you can email us at info@habarientertainment.com.
Let's go.
So this week, we got a couple hot messes.
Man, this week has been a hot mess.
This week has been a hot mess.
It's been messy out here. Man.
But Diddy's grand jury is still looking at allegations against him.
Man.
Hearing from at least one or more sex workers about their alleged relationship with the mogul, and it possibly could bring new charges.
Oh, goodness.
So we will keep you updated on those because we want to see what these new charges may be.
And then someone else sued him too on sexual assault case charges also this week. So this dude,
like I said, new charges could be pending.
Man.
What new charges did they?
They did not specify what the new charges could be. However, I'm assuming that if it's going to continue with the case that they already have going, it's going to be somewhere along the lines of sex trafficking, sexual assault, sexual misconduct.
Right, because right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's only one witness that they have right now. So they're looking for more witnesses to come forth. I think most of the people that sued him haven't came forth as witnesses on the stand for these cases, but they probably going to get subpoenaed to show up in court, especially all these people that sued him. So you're gonna have to tell your story in front of the jury. So
that is true.
Hope you got your shit together.
Hope so. Also this week, Cardi B and Offset.
Oh God.
I know, right? The fight over new cheating allegations.
Man.
As divorce turns ugly, the latest drama between the estranged hip-hop couple unfolded Wednesday as Cardi B hopped on Instagram Live to give Offset a piece of her mind.
Oh my God.
But it was Offset who really turned up the heat. During the Instagram Live session, Offset wrote in the comment section that Cardi B had cheated on him with another man
while being pregnant.
While she was pregnant.
And
her response was, and?
I thought she said she didn't. She said she didn't.
She made a comment post. She posted back in the comment section.
Saying she didn't do that.
And she said, and? With like 5-6 different exclamation points at the end of the comment. And?
Wow. That's nasty, man.
I mean, to me, yes, it was wrong to have an affair. However, it ain't wrong to have sex while you're pregnant.
With somebody else,
that can still happen. But
hey man, you're gonna be squirting all over my baby, man. That's
what I said.
You better get up out of here with
what
that.
I said was it was wrong for her to have sex with another man, but it was not wrong to have sex during pregnancy.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
Sex during pregnancy helps with the birth.
I don't give a damn.
It's just not. It's subjectively.
You better have sex with the dude you pregnant with.
That's all I was saying.
Yeah. Cheating.
That's all I was saying. The cheating portion was bad. Her cheating while pregnant was bad.
Definitely.
However, she could have had sex with him and it still would have been no big deal.
Just for this 9 months, man. Then after this, we could break up. You know what I'm saying?
You got 9 months plus 6 weeks. You got a total of 10 months you got to wait, bro.
No, you're supposed to have sex when you're pregnant. That's definitely something
you are supposed to because it stimulates, it helps with the hips, it helps with the birthing, definitely. It helps with all of that.
But you're not supposed to have sex with just anybody.
It's like when that diss track against Drake came out and everybody was like, he has a daughter? It's like, that's not what you should be focusing on.
Right.
You got the wrong point out of that.
Exactly. The point, cheating is bad. Man. Sex during pregnancy is still good.
Only thing I got to say is this, though, man. For my boy Offset, when you date a girl like Cardi B, what do you really expect, though? I mean, like, look at the way she talks, the way she holds herself. I've never heard so many N-words in my whole life.
But she did did come out and say that even though that she is the person that she is, she took classes on how to be a wife, a mother, and how to handle yourself in certain situations. And that is kind of why she stepped out of the spotlight a little bit while she's been pregnant. That's why she's kind of stepped
But when she
back.
came back into the spotlight,
it's
and
just
she's
all
talking,
drama.
it's all just N-word this, N-word that. He this, Nick. I mean, dude, I've never heard somebody say the N-word so much in my life. I mean, she just her language and the way she talks. And then, the way she holds herself, to me,
Well,
is you got all your boobs out all the time. You got your
what do
ass
you
out
expect
all
from
the
a
time.
former stripper?
I'm right. She's a stripper. So to me, it's just like, I don't know, bro.
I mean, that's how she got famous.
Did you
her
expect
body?
He cheated? He's wrong. He's definitely wrong. But I'm saying though, bro, what did you expect marrying her?
Okay, so
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wrong for cheating.
He cheated first, and then she was like, all right, I'm gonna go. Oh, that's what we doing. Two can play that game. I'm gonna go do it too.
He cheated first.
But here's my question though. How many men like Offset
right
are going to take the woman back after she cheated, after he knows that she cheated? Because a man, his pride is gonna be hurt if his old lady cheated.
Yeah.
But if he out there doing it, it's all good.
Yeah. I agree. Why is that? Why is it a double standard like
why
that?
Why is that such a double standard? Why can men not accept that a woman cheated if he was out there cheating too?
Hey, look, man. I'm gonna tell you like this.
Y'all don't want to have that image in y'all head.
There's supposed to be one king. There's supposed to be one king, and that's the man. That's how he feels. Even, I mean,
well, how do you think we feel? We're supposed to be one queen.
No, man. A man we can get y'all pregnant one time, and in 9 months you can only have one baby. We can keep having sex from there. Naturally, it's not right. I mean, but anybody can do what they want to do. Exactly. And I'm faithful. You shouldn't be a person that's unfaithful. But look, I look at the industry that both of these people are in, and it's a tough situation. When you marry a rapper, you know the rapper lifestyle. When you marry a girl,
that goes for anybody that's even professional athletes.
Definitely, you know the lifestyle. So it's tough, man, to come in demanding a person to be faithful in those situations. That's why a lot of these couples, people be so weirded out because these couples have open relationships because it's so hard because they're always on the road and they always have so much stuff thrown at them.
So that brings me.
That's why they
question.
have open relationships, and people be like, "Why?"
In regards to those open
why.
relationships. Okay, so I saw a video this week on TikTok, and it was this guy going around, just interviewing random people on the streets and stuff like that. And one lady he came across, he asked her, she married, single, all of this, right? And she's like, I'm married. I've been married for 38 years, but for the past 10 years, we've been married. We live in separate households. Mm-hmm. He got his bills, I got mine. That's the way it works for them. Right. So the guy brought up a question of, could that work for all couples? Like, do you would your partner be okay with that? To say, okay, well, you can live in your house and I can live in mine, right, and we can trust each other enough to say that yes, we're still faithful to each other because we see each other all the time, but we just sleep in different houses at the end of the night.
Hey man, whatever works for you. To me,
I went on a TikTok rabbit hole about married couples who have different beds.
They sleep in separate rooms.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like when you get married, it's like, oh, I love this person, but you're automatically assigned a roommate for life.
Right? Like, I'm irritated with you tonight. I don't want to be next to you. I'm just gonna go sleep over here.
That's weird, being like, leave it to Beaver and them and sleep in different beds. I don't know if I want to be like the Beaver.
If it works for the three bears, it'll work for anyone.
It's weird, man. I mean, that's why today, many relationships aren't built to last. People aren't building partnerships.
Do you think that we're mirroring our relationships in our everyday life, kind of like a Hollywood or celebrities or athletes who have these open lifestyles, right, where their spouses, they're free to do whatever they want to do, but trying to implement that in a everyday personal lifestyle may not always work for
Normal
everyone.
people should be okay because we're not Offset, we're not Cardi B, we're not getting these things. Cardi B, I understand. She doesn't want she thinks she is the baddest woman in America. And it's hard for her to take that she's being cheated on. But to Offset, she's just another chick. And to everybody else is like, oh my God, Cardi B. But he's just another chick. Halle Berry. Halle Berry was cheated on too.
They the most beautiful black women,
And they get cheated on. That's because men who are in these situations, they get a lot of
just
girls.
because you got pretty privilege don't mean you ain't getting cheated on.
It doesn't. You will get cheated on. So to think that Cardi B, I mean, it hurts her feelings to think, oh, I was cheated on. But I mean, what's she gonna do? She got 3 kids. Who's gonna come in and be that replacement for bro? You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard. Now he's just messed up for doing what he's doing. He was, it is, but it's messed up. But we all know he's on the road. He's doing this. He's doing that. And then some people can't handle those situations. Most people take themselves out of those situations.
Okay, so
they stop touring. They stop doing those things so they can.
So here's another question.
Stop being in those situations. You know what I mean?
As a woman in Hollywood or a woman celebrity,
yeah,
should your appearances change? And what I mean by that, should your entertainment appearances change? Like, should you decrease the amount of movies or roles or music that you're putting out just because you have a child or just because you have 3 children?
No. Unless you're like, I mean, it's tough when you're in a Cardi B situation because everything she does is so sexual. It's about her body. So it's kind of tough, and your kids have to see you, shaking your butt, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what you built your legacy on. But my thing is I wanted to talk about this before we move on real fast. It's tough for women in that situation that she's in because a man like Offset, he can go get a woman that's not as famous and he will be okay with that. Women who make it to Cardi B's level, they want a famous man who also has about the same amount of clout as they do. But the problem is that these men are being propositioned by these women so much. Women are used to being propositioned even when they're broke. They get these situations. Men get there and it's harder for us because we've never had it like you guys get it so much. Your whole life since you was about 15, 16, men have been coming to you. And you've been able to build this wall up saying no. Men we don't know how to do that. We've been taking everything that come to us since we was 15, 16.
I got 6 women who are famous that have non-famous spouses.
That's probably the best way to go. Because
Jennifer
in those
Lawrence,
situations, the man feel as though he has a prize.
He's got a trophy
don't want to
wife.
lose that. When you're up someone like Offset, Cardi B means nothing. It's just another chick. So to me, I know women don't like it because they want to get someone that's just as dope as them or better. But the problem is that man, since he gets so much, is going to have issues throwing off the women.
But just that's like looking at relationships from like a status point, know? And like that's not how you find love.
No.
And like if you're talking about like getting married and having children, like I don't see the point in like trying to find somebody who's like bigger.
That's how women, that's how women are, though.
And what I'm saying is like, okay, so what if the woman, I'm gonna use this as an example. Tina Fey. She's a comedian. She's famous. But before she got famous, she married someone, he thought he was like, oh, she's a budding comedian. I can see this. And I think she's going to be famous one day. He's supporting her and pushing her to go be famous. Right. But he's just like, I don't want no part of that.
But that's probably the best dude to be with.
So do you think all women in Hollywood should be like that and just go find somebody that's just like, nah, you can go do that, but I'm going to sit back here and enjoy this back here.
I'm not going to say
be a house husband.
100%. But those situations probably will work out better than trying to get some famous man. Because most of these men, they think that they're just as great as the women think they are. You have to get someone that puts you on the pedestal. especially when you're in these situations like Cardi B. Get someone that's not famous to me, man, and you probably have a better chance of keeping your relationship together.
Are we talking about someone who's not famous, who's like a fan, or not famous, or who doesn't know who this person is? You know, I think like
because fame is it could be a local famous, it could be national famous,
like
internet famous.
Offset tries to get with somebody who's a fan of his. I feel like that's gonna be a bad move.
Right.
Yeah, but he don't care. He just
but he doesn't care. But like, it's a bad idea. I'm sure he'll still do it. But
right, yeah. I mean,
like, I feel like you need somebody who doesn't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the move. You know, find somebody who likes you for you and not for
and that doesn't care about the
clout that you have.
Yeah,
right.
right.
That doesn't care about the
Right.
famous part of you.
That's hard, man. That's hard because most people, you know, they're trying to get something from you, or they're trying to be with you because of that fame. So that's tough. But we'll see, man, on that situation. Let's go into sports.
You want to do comics and then sports?
No, sports first.
Okay.
Why?
Just asking.
Habari Sports.
Sports, let's get it pumped. So this week it's been kind of, you know, chill week for sports. We're about to get into basketball is about to be back in a couple of weeks. They'll be going into training camp. We have the WNBA playoffs. We do have football. The Cardinals, I think they're playing the 49ers this week.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know, from last week us getting beat up so bad, man, it's gonna be hard for me to I hope we bounce back. I'm just trying to stay positive, but that Lions game, man, was tough, man.
That was a tough one to watch.
Yeah, quarterback looked bad, man. We couldn't get anything going. We just looked tough, man. I'm hoping that, you know, that the Detroit defense was just the issue that we had, and hopefully we look better. But I don't know, man. I really don't want to say that we're gonna lose, but it's not looking good right now. With the 49ers game, hope we can bounce back. I'm trying to stay positive, but my first thought is we're probably gonna drop this one. Let's talk about what happened last night, man. The Knicks trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Karl Anthony Towns was with Minnesota Timberwolves. They made it to the Western Conference Finals last year as a team. I thought Anthony Towns played very well, the best I've ever seen him play myself last year. I don't know. I know that they wanted to make sure that they had more scoring, but I'm not sure why they wanted to get rid of Karl Anthony. Man, they pick up Julius Randle. Julius is more of a scorer. He's not as a good a shooter as Karl Anthony Towns is from 3-pointer. So the spreading of the floor won't be as good for Minnesota to me. And you also have big Rudy Gobert at the center. So Gobert and Julius Randle as your front court, man. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about it, man. They did get a first round pick out the deal, but I'm not sure about the move for Minnesota, man. For New York, it does spread the floor. They did get rid of DeCenzo, who was part of that crew with Brunson and all those guys who all played together at Villanova. They won a championship together, and they get rid of now DeCenzo, who doesn't even get to play with this group, which kind of sucks for him. They was bringing them all together, and they get rid of him. So I thought that was tough, man. But you know, we're gonna dive into the huge move that could reshape the landscape of the NBA. I doubt it. It's happening right here in the Big Apple. The New York Knicks are making waves, reportedly trading Julius Randle and first round pick to the Minnesota Timberwolves for all-star Karl Anthony Towns. Now, like I said, yes, Karl Anthony Towns is not a difference maker to me, but for them, they can put him at the center. They were missing a center, and they were trying to figure out what to do after Hartenstein left. So now with Cat in the lineup, the Knicks are looking to take things to a whole new level. They did get Mikal Bridges in the offseason. The trade isn't finalized, they say. They thinking a third team is expected to join the deal due to financial restrictions, but the core pieces are in place. Towns, one of the best shooting big men in NBA history. He calls himself the best big man in shooting big man in his NBA history. Will give the Knicks an entirely new dimension offensively. Now, dude is not known for his defense, Karl Anthony Towns. They did lose Isaiah Hartenstein to the Thunder, and with Mitchell Robinson always being hurt, the Knicks needed the strong presence at center. Towns would fill that void, but in a way that's unlikely any big man they've had before. On the other side of the deal, Minnesota is making a tough decision to move on from Towns as they focus on building around Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, both whom have resigned big deals, big contracts with Minnesota. And like I said, they had a great season, make it to the second round of the playoffs, and now they're positioning themselves for a long-term success without Cat's supermax contract weighing them down. So, man, we'll see how this plays out. But I do think that Minnesota took a step back. The Knicks did get a little better offensively. I don't know how much this would help them on the defensive end, but we definitely will see. They do think that Karl Anthony Towns is a franchise-altering talent. We'll see about that, man. But should be good things to see, and we'll see what happens from here. And let's go ahead and talk about some WNBA real fast. I think they had that had you on there. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What did we have for the WNBA? Basically, we wanted to talk about
the racism going on in the WNBA.
Yeah, we want to talk about the girls talking about the racism. We want to do this kind of fast, but basically, what's going on, man, is Caitlin Clark fans. I like to call them the KKK, man, because that's how they've been acting. The Caitlin Clark clan, with all K's, because they just been acting a fool, man.
Yeah,
it's been ridiculous. Anybody that says anything about Caitlin Clark that they don't like, they're calling them racist. Yep. They're calling them black. They're calling them everything that they can. They're disrespecting the WNBA, saying that the WNBA history doesn't mean a thing. No one cares because no one watched.
Their rhetoric is starting to leak over into the league, so much so that Caitlin Clark and Alyssa Thomas both have spoken out against the wave of racist comments, death threats, and other forms of online abuse that they've been receiving this year.
Yeah, man.
Yes, the WNBA league has responded. Yes, the WNBA players have responded, but will enough be done?
I mean, it's just becoming all too common, even in professional sports, racism and online harassment. Recently, several WNBA players, like you said, Caitlin Clark and Lisa Thomas, have spoken out against the wave of racist comments, death threats, and other forms of online abuse that they've been receiving this season. The league has responded, but the question is, will it be enough? And will enough be done?
I mean, it's heartbreaking that we're seeing things like this happening, especially in a league where there is 40% white and it's 60% black.
Right.
And we're trying to promote diversity, inclusion, empowerment, and players like Caitlin are making it clear that the fans that are acting this way, they're not real fans. They're trolls.
Yeah.
And she's right. This behavior has no place in sports or anywhere else. I mean, it's disturbing that in 2024, we're still looking at athletes and athletes are still facing such hateful behavior for just doing their job and excelling at them. I mean,
it's been bad, man. The online abuse isn't limited to just one player either. Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, and Boston's own Leah Boston have all spoken out this season about receiving racist and hateful comments. Alyssa Thomas also highlighted some of the racist abuse directed at the Fever fan base, calling it out for what it is. There's no place for it, she said. She's right. We're talking about some of the most talented athletes in the world, and they're all being reduced to targets of hate by a toxic minority who are interested in spreading their vitriol than appreciating the game. It's dumb.
It is. I mean, and it's really escalated during this playoff season when Dejani Carrington of the Sun received a threatening email
It's
after
ridiculous.
game 2
When she poked
of
old
the
girl in
first
eye.
round series against the Fever. Alyssa Thomas also had to speak up after hearing racist comments during the series as well. These are not just isolated incidents. There's a pattern here. And it's good to see that the WNBA is stepping up to denounce the behavior in their statement, but we also have to ask, what's next? Issuing statements is one thing, but what about real accountability for those responsible? Are we going to start throwing these fans out of the game? Are they going to start being banned from the games? Are they going to be banned from the arena, period?
Right. I don't know, man. I mean, they're going to have to do something. The league needs to make a strong stand, not just in their words, but in their actions. We've seen other sports leagues implement policies to ban fans for life for this kind of behavior. The WNBA can do the same, and they're going to have to. These so-called fans don't deserve to be a part of the community. This is about protecting the players, but it's also about sending a message to the racist and the threats won't be tolerated in the sport or anywhere. And I'm just so sick of fighting with these ignorant people online, calling everything racist and calling everybody black because they don't like anything that was being said.
Yep. And I mean, Caitlin, she said it the best. These are not fans. They're trolls. The internet gives these people a platform to hide behind anonymity. But it's time for the league, the teams, and the fans who truly love the sport to stand up and protect the players who are giving everything they have on the court. These women are role models, and they deserve to be treated with respect, not hatred, not racism. They don't deserve death threats. They don't deserve racist comments.
No, man.
They don't deserve you throwing things at them during the games because you don't like them.
Right.
They don't deserve any of it.
No, man.
And if you can't be respectful at the games, or if you can't say respectful things about the players,
get out of here.
You don't deserve to be you don't deserve to be a part of the community.
It's just so crazy that they think because they're bringing eyes to the game that they get to say whatever the hell they want.
It doesn't work like that, bro.
And that's the part that's pissing me off.
Just because we're watching the games
Caitlin.
now.
Caitlin is the reason I'm watching. That's fucking fantastic. Do you have to disrespect everyone else that's played this game because you love Caitlin? Does that mean that you have to say, "Oh, well, I don't care about her. I don't care." Like it's
she's the one that made the league, so she's the one that's getting all the eyes.
Nobody else mattered because we didn't watch before. The league was trash. The league is trash. These girls are trash. They're mad that she's not gay. Like the things that are being said, dude, are so disgusting. And what they say about to Brittany Griner, every time her name comes up, they act a fool. Like they can't let these girls live, man. We all know it's racism, and they want to holler it's not, that it's reverse racism and all this crap.
Here's the thing.
Fuck out of here, man.
The WNBA is probably one of the only, it's probably one of the only sports that allows the players, the athletes, to be who they are. Because I can almost guarantee that there have been players in the WNBA, there have been players in the NFL that have come out as I'm gay after their career have ended.
Man, because you don't want to.
The WNBA says, "Come on, you can be over here with us. We accept you for who you are. We don't care that you're gay. Right. We don't care that you're straight. Right. We just like that you can play ball the way we like to play ball." And that's all that it's about. Can you play ball?
Right. So what do you all think? Should the WNBA adopt harsher penalties for fans caught engaging in racist or threatening behavior? Or is there another situation you think that could work better? Let us know your thoughts on your social media, and let's keep this conversation going because I think it's very, very important just to see the game grow. I love the WNBA.
I love that it's getting basketball. Back to the 90s when I was a little girl watching the WNBA and all the excitement.
The popularity
is
coming back. The 90s, it was uber popular. Everybody was watching. It fell off throughout the 2000s, but now it's back and everybody's watching. Let's just have a good time instead of being racist idiots and pointing fingers at each other and talking trash about the girls. All right, man, we got one last story. We're going to get up out of here. We went a little bit over today.
What's that one last story?
Just going to talk about Agatha real fast, man.
Okay, yeah.
Comic Book Corner. Sponsored by
Fish and chicken, where every bite is like a
warm hug from home. So, man, we got Comic Book Corner today. We want to take a deep dive into the weird, wild, and wonderful world of comic books. So we got Agatha All Along, episode 3. And let me tell you, this show has gone from cautiously optimistic to straight up spellbinding. It's
It
got
has.
everything, man.
And it's intrigued me this year because even though there's witches and warlocks and all this magical stuff that's going on,
right.
I almost kind of want to be a witch for Halloween and just kind of be like, even though, I mean, every year, that's what I was every year as a little kid.
Right.
But now I feel like it's an actual reason. Like, this brings you back to, ooh, let's be magical. Let's be fun and exciting and hocus pocus and all that, what Halloween is supposed to be. And that's what I'm getting from this. It's more Halloween. It's more spooky-fied.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
It's like I said, it's got everything, scares, laughs, and of course more Catherine Hahn being deliciously wicked. I love the way she's going with the cast and her acting and everything. So what do you think? I
mean, I knew I was in for a ride when they walked into that mansion, when they saw it pop up and they was like, ooh, it's a mansion. Where's the house? It's just came out of nowhere. And everybody just got this it's just fun just to see their face expressions when they walk in. You can see the tints of blue, the tints of red. There was one point, where we saw, all the time, the ticker for the clock, for the time clock, the wine refilling itself.
Yeah.
It's just all the little details that they put into them going into this mansion and seeing everything, and her holding her chest and saying, oh, this is
for
her brooch.
Right. Yeah,
and
man.
All the women did it.
Yeah. So the whole scene felt like they were about to film a golf tutorial, but before it quickly became clear that no one is surviving this episode. With the little trauma,
the little golf
and
clothes.
Miss Hart burying me in this kitchen was a chef's kiss line, except poor Sharon. She might actually end up getting buried for real. We don't know if she's dead. Some people are speculating that she'll be back, but she definitely passed away in that episode. And she was a fun character.
Even though they say it may be a temporary thing for Sharon to have passed away. I like the whole who's Sharon
right
at the end, right before the credits rolled, and Agatha was just like, who the fuck is that?
Right. She didn't even know it, but
didn't even know who it is. But that also makes you think, did she really forget who Sharon was? Did she really forget that she was part of their entryway to get in? Or is she just,
playing dumb?
Who
knows, man, with her? Because, I mean, she's so, who knows, man? So we definitely don't know for sure what she's doing, but you know how she is.
But you can also tell, though, that with Catherine Hahn, the way she's playing Agatha's character, she's almost got this schematic vibe with her. She's scheming at every single turn, every single way. Like we saw her dump the cup of wine because she didn't want to drink it.
Right.
Everybody else
she already
did.
knew it was a trap.
And that's what I'm saying. Like she's been down the witch's road before, so she knows what to expect.
Right.
So with her bringing this new coven with her, she's got to kind of maybe act like she doesn't know what's going on, even though she does know.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess they're just trying to do that to keep us captivated.
It's just been really good. I like the route that they're going. You have the wine situation where it showed them the consequences, and I'm guessing they're going to go through a lot more trials, but this was the first trial, and we'll see what they do on from there. But man, I don't know if more of them are going to die on this. And then you got the old girl who she was going against at first, who had came to kill her and put the knife, but you could tell they have some type of history going on. We don't know. I note in the credit scenes and some of the highlights, we've seen her come back. So I'm thinking next week she'll be back.
It's either next week or week after next, where
because
she'll
you have
be back.
to have a certain amount of witches to be able to go on the trial
in the coven,
right? So I think she's going to come back in. We'll see what happens on that. We still don't know who the teen is. A lot of people are saying it's Wanda's son, but we don't know for sure. They still have what they call it, a sigil.
Yeah, they called it a sigil.
So we'll see.
But they're also saying that the sigil could have been placed on him either by Wanda or by himself. He could have placed it on himself, so that way.
It's kind of weird though. You put it on yourself, but you still talking like you don't have.
Yeah, you can talk, but when it comes, the sigil only comes. I know it's only shown when he's trying to say his name, right? Who he is, or where he
anything about
from.
His history, right?
Right,
definitely anything about his history.
We'll see. I mean, my favorite part kind of could have been, when they were all in the kitchen and they were all, around the sink and trying to do the cauldron, and they needed the blood of the virgin, and then as soon as it dropped in there, Agatha starts having these hallucinations.
Well, yeah.
And she kind of sees the dark hole.
Right.
So it kind of leaned towards she gave up her kid for the dark hole.
We don't know for sure, but I think that her enemy in the beginning, I don't know why I can't remember her name, is going to have a lot to do with it. Maybe she was the one that took the baby and took him to Mephisto. But that was a big deal too, hearing the word Mephisto. So many people talked about it online for so long. And finally, it's paid off, and Mephisto has been spoken about. There's been so many people saying it's coming. It never came in WandaVision, and now episode 3, Agatha, they finally toss out the name Mephisto. I know that nerds was coming in their pants, but we finally got it, man. And we don't know. It's been rumors that Sacha Baron Cohen is going to be the person that's going to play him in Ironheart, which is kind of weird. But we'll see what happens. And I love the show, and I love what they're doing. And we're going to be pumped for episode 4. And that's about it for that, man. Yeah. So we're going to get up out of here. We really appreciate everybody coming through and talking to us, man, and having a good time. Thanks Aisha, and thanks to Chardai for coming through and talking about Cosmoholic and her school and her salon. If you guys can reach out to her online, we didn't get all her information on that.
I put her QR code for her Facebook on the screen.
Okay, so we put let's run the QR code so they can see it. And if you want to follow her and check her out, man, please do. She's doing everything she can to help out and make people look better and feel better about themselves. And if you're watching, please subscribe, man. We would really appreciate it. This is a good way to grow Habari Entertainment, for we can be able to bring you more stories and bring you better journalism and better coverage of the stories, man. We are trying to become a news company. We want to be the news media that's for you and for the people. So if you can subscribe, anything you can to do to help, we really appreciate you.
Make sure to follow us on TikTok. We need 1,000 followers before we can go live on TikTok. So you, your grandma, your grandpa, everyone you know,
that's right.
Go follow us on TikTok.
Follow, man. We really appreciate it. Definitely. Thanks for watching Habari Live. I'm Damon Dipleen Ellison.
Aisha.
And we are out.
Holla, holla.